All right, folks, it's another edition of the DoorDash Daily Recap video. For today is Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. So, as I mentioned, the last recap I did a week ago, I got called into work and then I went ahead and scheduled myself in all the rest of last week. So, today, and I ended up not dashing over the weekend, so it's just Wednesday through yesterday was all just W2. So this was the first dash that I did since last Tuesday. Um, and it felt, it had only been a week, but it for some reason it felt like 3 or 4 weeks since I last dashed. It felt different, but after the first like two orders, I was back into the swing of things and felt comfortable again. I should mention that my acceptance rate going into the dash was still below 75, so I had to keep that in mind, and I ended up tanking it, and I'll get to that here by the end of the video. But so first order of the day from here at home. Um, I logged in. It's probably about 5:45. Waited like not even 20 minutes, as you can see, for the first order, a $5 McDonald's. So that went to a hotel room. So pretty easy first order. Um, and then we get to the next order after I dropped that off was 375, only not even 2 miles. So I went ahead and took that, and you see, I hadn't even delivered. I was just approaching the drop off on the first order, as you can see on the map, when I got this offer. So it was kind of sort of like a stack almost. Um, and I delivered. This went to a regular customer that I've probably delivered to, gosh, at least 7 or 8 times before. It's a low tipping customer. She only tips $1, but it's such an easy delivery though. It's McDonald's, and I just take it down the street. You can see here. I mean, it's pretty much a straight line shot to the delivery. So that's why, even though it's very low paying, it just takes a few minutes. And um, plus, like I said, my if I had been in the 90s or whatever, over 90% acceptance or whatever, I probably would have dropped that. But uh, it is what it is. Next up was this then the orders, the next few orders after this started to get kind of better, and you can see here it's still only 6:30 in the morning. So I got off to like a real fast paced start. It was like boom, order after order. I mean, they were coming in. So I went ahead and took this one. uh 6.5 miles, $7.90. It's all staying in zone. So this was, I figured this was a pretty good order. So yeah, this is I'm taking this every day, all day. And then I think this is before I even get to the Panera, they stack a White Castle pickup on me, and additional 4 miles. The pickups are close together, and even though that's 4 miles away from the first delivery point, it's still like within zone. It's just kind of like to the outskirts of my zone. So, more than happy to take this order as well. And one thing about this is the White Castle is I've talked about this in the video I just posted about locked lobbies, especially like early in the morning. I just posted that video, just come out yesterday. And so, perfect example right here. So I get there at, well, it's probably a little bit after 6:40 because I had to pick up the Panera. I wasn't in there too long, so I bet it was like 6:43, 6:44 when I got to White Castle. And I figured I only saw one car in the drive-through, so I figured, let's chance it because you park right up by the door. So it's just gonna take me a second. Park my car, hurry up, try the door, and then I should be able to get, if it's locked, get right into that drive-through. So I park, the door's locked, I'm getting back into my car, I'm doing all as fast as I can. Some, freaking pickup truck comes right behind me and goes right to the drive through speaker. And it's just, it's just like, man, couldn't that person, they would have just got there 4 seconds later. I mean, I was there first. And I might do a whole separate video about this sometime, but it's so irritating to me. These restaurants, there's the big push on mobile orders, delivery orders, all this type of thing, the online mobile ordering at all these fast food places. But they don't make it any more convenient to pick up. And when you go through a drive through, if you have to go through a drive through, like I did in this case, you have to wait behind people that are just ordering their food. And so they're ordering the food, and then the order obviously can't start and being made until it's ordered, obviously. Well, I'm there to pick up an order that was already placed. And it drives me nuts as a DoorDash driver. It drives me nuts when I personally, like, I have some places, now we're kind of getting off topic, but again, I'll make this a separate video sometime. But some of the restaurants I use the apps and some I don't. I tried McDonald's and I just didn't like it, and I had all kinds of problems with it. So that lasted about one or two attempts, and then I deleted the McDonald's app off my phone. Jimmy John's, I use the app. Smoothie King, there's some other ones like that where I have no problems at all placing the order and then going to the place. But say like Jimmy John's, for instance, I place the order ahead of time. It doesn't save me any time on the pickup end, because if you go through the drive-through or you walk into the store, if there's lines, you have to stand behind people that have yet to even order their food. Um, I have, and I'll mention this again if I do a separate video later on down the road on this topic, but where my wife's from, Fremont, Ohio, they have a Chipotle that's just a couple years old. And they have it's kind of like a drive-through line, but it's only for online orders only. Which, man, I tell you what, if all of the restaurants had that, could you imagine how amazing that would be? But yeah, you can't go into that drive-through and like there's not a speaker there where you like place an order, and then it's only for orders that have been placed ahead of time. And that's strictly what that drive-through line. They don't have a drive-through for where you pull up and order your food at a speaker. It's only the online. Um, but anyway, now that I've done with that rant, and then so then the Panera. What's my next screenshot here? Okay, so I don't have this picture to show, but on so I picked this White Castle up, then I delivered the Panera. It was it was kind of a funky order. It was one of those hand to customers orders where the special instructions said to leave at the door. So in those cases, I leave it at the door. But I still have to send my messages that I send on hand to customer orders. However, for this particular customer, they had it to where messaging was like turned off. I was like, man, oh, these like little irritating jabs that either DoorDash or the customer. What is this? Why are all these messages? Um, these little jabs that the customers will take at you, or the DoorDash or the customers, that like these little irritating jabs like that. I couldn't message this customer, so I just left it at the door and took a picture that just went on my camera roll on my phone. That way, I have proof on my phone if they said they didn't get the order to cover myself. So back to my notes here. So next this was a pretty good order here. And I was parked right next to the Jolly Pirate. Um, and so $6 hidden tip, less than a mile. Again, on orders like this, I really don't know. Still don't understand the purpose of hiding tips. I don't get it. On the offer screen. I mean, even if this was just $6, not too many dashers are going to turn down this particular offer. $6, and you're not even driving a mile to do it. I'm sure in really like huge metropolitan areas like Chicago, New York City, Miami, places like this, I'm sure there's probably dashers that they won't touch any order that's like under $10 or what, maybe situations like that in a busy enough market. But for the vast majority of us, this right here, probably 99% of dashers are taken because this is going to be at least $6.25 and you're not even driving a mile. Um, so I picked that up. Since I was so close to the Jolly Pirate, I just was like not even a block from it. And so I get in there. They hadn't started the order, so not a big deal. I used their bathroom and waited just 2 or 3 minutes, and they had it done. It wasn't too bad. Dropped that order off, and so here was the final pay. They hit $1, so I got $7 for that. Um, and this went to a street near like the one of the elementary schools in my zone, and then so I dropped that off. You see here 7:36, and it probably wasn't even a minute later the next offer. Let's see, so a minute later, I'm still sitting there at that customer, and I get a this McDonald's order, so 350 going to the same street. So second, the McDonald's customer is on the same street as you see here, on the opposite side of kind of like the main road that these houses sit off of. So yeah, this was easy enough. Just shot over to McDonald's and picked up that order and delivered it. I think it was my first. Let's see, one, two, three. The first I had like what, four McDonald's orders. I thought. No, maybe it was just the three. Um, and only so it must have been this one right here that I had to wait on, but only like a minute or two. The first two McDonald's orders, I mean, I just walked in, they were already on the shelf, grab and go, boom. And But this was the other McDonald's location, and but again, it was only a couple minutes. and this another uh, just like with that McDonald's order earlier that only paid three something. Same situation here. A repeating customer that I've gotten before that only tips like $1, but still, I mean, for such low mileage. Next up here, uh, was this 475 Burger King. I went ahead and took this again. I continue to stay lucky here with these orders, kind of like staying in zone. So even though it's just under the dollar, or not quite the dollar per mile, but still it's staying in zone. So I'm just getting at this point all orders staying in zone. So heck, I'm taking all of these and trying to raise the acceptance rate up. This went to like a urologist office. Uh, Dropped that off, and I had to wait a little while for my next offer. Next offer didn't come in until, you see here, almost 8:30. This was my first decline of the day, and it was going to out of zone to the south side. Uh, 597 for over 8 miles. No thanks on this one. Sometimes the TJs I have problems with. I have to wait in there sometimes. And it's still early enough. I should be able to get something better, but I didn't. I turned this down and I continued to sit and wait at that. I still parked at that urologist's office, and I was sitting there and I wasn't getting anything. So I was getting kind of bored. So I decided to come home. Took a break, came home. The first offer I got at home, I got two consecutive $11 Meyer orders, or offers, I should say. It was kind of funny. So I came home, got this offer, and it's going to downtown. And at first, when I very first saw this, I was like, okay, well, it's 9 o'clock yet, so I'm not doing this. I'm not going into downtown at rush hour, but I wasn't like completely clearly thinking about this. By the time I got to Meyer, by the time I shop these four items and then start getting on my way, it's going to be probably close to or after 9 o'clock. So traffic, initially I had traffic as an issue in my head when I was deciding on this. But traffic was not going to be an issue. But this isn't a great offer anyway. $11, 14 miles. So I was at home, trying to get a little bit of something to eat and refill my drink and go to the bathroom and do stuff. So, yeah, pass on this one. And then, like I said, got a second consecutive $11 or this one not going as far and not going into downtown, so this is a little bit better. But and if I allow my 3 miles to get to Meyer, because I'm coming from home, so this is kind of sort of really $11 for 9.5 miles essentially. So this one's better, but it's I was like, nah, let's just decline this one too. And again, out of zone, and I'd had a good streak up to that point, all in zone orders. So I don't know, I just kind of thought, well, let's try to keep that going and not go out of zone. Uh, and then I got a good order. So sometimes patience can be rewarding. So I declined those two and then check out the third Meyer order that I got. Bam, 43.75 and 13 miles. 26 items, but I knew there's probably going to be like multiples in there, and it was. So heck yeah, I'm going ahead and taking this one. And this order right here, I was already at 35, $36, whatever I was at. This was going to put me at somewhere around that $80 range and close to my goal for the day. So heck yeah, I'm on top of this. So I get to Meyer, and here's my number of different items. So it was so all total 26 items to shop for, but it's only 14 different things. And when I was scrolling through the shopping list, I saw like all kinds of cases of pop, and I had once I saw that, I had a pretty good idea of which customer this was. It's a customer I've delivered to at least 2 times prior to today, maybe 3 times prior. And they order like a whole bunch of pop. You know, they must. It's like it's a place of business, some kind of warehouse or production facility or something, and they must stock up their own pop machines and have DoorDash deliver the pop versus having some vendor come in. So anyway, I I shopped this order in only 5 minutes, believe it or not. That's all it took me to get these 26 items, because most of it was down the pop aisle. So 5 minutes flat. How crazy is that? Now, I shot a video. Check out this video I'm going to throw in of this like 2,000 pound shopping cart loaded down after I finish shopping all the items. Check it out. All right, take a look at this order. It definitely needed some muscles here today for this one. Check it out. 2, 4, 8, 12. See, what is that? 17 12 packs of pop. I'm pretty sure I know who this customer is. Not 100% sure yet, but I'm pretty sure. Plus a couple cat litters. And this only took me, the good news was it only took me 5 minutes. But as you can see, it takes some muscle to push this thing up front. This is gonna suck, you know, scanning all these to check out, but I've done it before, so here goes nothing. So I was kind of concerned about the checkout. So I walk up front, manhandle that thing up to the front of the store. There was 2 open lines with cashiers, but it was going to be a few minutes at each one of them. So, well, let's try the self checkout, which actually worked out pretty good because the self checkout lady saw me coming, saw all that pop. She immediately went for her scan gun and to come up to me and help me out and scan all the pop for me. So that was real nice of her, and so no problems checking out or anything. I took a. I'll have to. I'll throw another picture in here. If I think I have the picture. But it was like 100 and I took a picture of the like the subtotal after just the pop was scanned. It was like $133 or something just for the pop, and then all total with everything is like 180 some dollars, whatever it is, crazy. And then anyway, so I delivered and to the customer that I thought it was, and they're real cool with this drop off. They leave a dolly there for you to use, but I find it's easier not to use that. I just took one of the kitty litters, propped open the front door. The second door was already open, and then I just carry in like 4 trips, carrying 4 12 packs. So I did that, and and then like another trip or two for all the other stuff, and then that was done. And 13.75, you see there, $30 tip, paid me 43.75. Outstanding. That I needed that order after those declines. And then I'm coming back from that, and I get back into zone, and look at this. I mean, does this make any sense like whatsoever to take this? You see my position in my car here. I'm getting off the exit. I'm just down the street from the Papa John's. I'm like right there. So the 10 miles is all to the customer, down, way down into the deep south for $4. And this keeps happening to me. This isn't the first time I've gotten off that exit at around 10 o'clock to 10:15 a.m. when people are trying to order Papa John's pizza for breakfast, and it's a low paying order like that. um so yeah, I declined that. I mean, my gosh, what a terrible offer. That's one of my worst, if not the worst offer of the whole day, was right there. And another thing too is, and this is something else I've talked about before with the customers, and how a lot of them can be like really super inconsiderate. If you already know that you live 150 miles away from the nearest restaurants, fast food places, or anything, and some delivery driver is going to have to drive that, then can't you just throw in a little extra tip for the amount of miles it's going to take to get to you? See, I only live 3 miles from the stuff. So if I'm on DoorDash deliveries, when I place an order, I leave usually bare minimum like $5 to $7, sometimes a little bit more, because I'm a driver and I know what's involved, and so I've turned into a pretty good tipper. But even if I just tip like $1 or $2, well, the mileage on my orders, I understand, isn't going to be that bad. You're talking 3 to 4 mile routes. Okay, but this person here lives 150 miles away from the restaurant. So, I mean, come on, throw in more than just $1 or $2 to a tip, why don't you? I mean, you know, whatever. Um, Next is another drop here. This I was in the lane to turn right to go like towards Papa John's. This Sonic is the other direction. So yeah, I still could have made my right hand turn, went down, made a left into the gas station, turned around. I could have done this, and I don't know, maybe I should have done this because of my low acceptance rate, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to force myself to do this one. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of these Sonic orders. You have to go through the drive-through. They're typically pretty slow. It's the dollars to mile is pretty much matches, but uh, let's just pass on this. I'm sorry. Um, what was next? Then so I passed on that at 10:02. Only 3 minutes later. Okay, so here I got a much better. Well, I'm not going to say much better offer, but this is better than the Sonic would have been. So just 3 minutes later, I love these auto part store deliveries. Just me personally, you get a break from the food, delivering the shopping orders and everything to do something that's different. Go into a Napa, pick up some auto part or whatever, deliver it to another Napa. It's change of pace. It's something different. I don't have to worry about the customers on these orders like giving me the bad reviews or what, because how on something like this, how do I mess this up? And why would a Napa store associate give me a bad review? What reason would there be? So you don't have the BS associated with your food delivery orders, with the the ways that the customers can kind of screw you. Um, so I'm taking this one, even though, yeah, I'm gonna have like the dead miles coming back from, and this was actually north of downtown Columbus, actually. So I went past downtown, north of there, um, to this particular Napa. You see on the my pin position, I was real close to that the Napa, the pickup location. I was right, almost right there. Just had to go up to one traffic light, left hand turn, boom, there. And then the almost 11 miles was all to the other Napa location, and it was just like a 4 pack of spark plugs. That's all this was. Uh, you know, I now you can, especially getting up there around that 10:30 range, I could have gotten some kind of an order in that area coming back, but I didn't. This particular time, I didn't get an order in that, like, for that zone or coming back to my zone. So it was all deadhead miles coming back. But as you'll see in the end of the video, for the day I still did great on mileage, nonetheless. So I'm coming back from that. So that was at 10:05 when I got that order, and so I dropped that off less than, only about a half hour later. That's all that took. And voila, making my way back to zone. Thank you very much. Catering order for Chipotle. Now, and notice the time here. I'm an experienced dasher, so I know Chipotle doesn't open until 10:45. I'm actually practically getting off the exit here at 10:37. So I had like 8 minutes to spare. I actually went to Walmart, which is like practically the same shopping center. I went there first so I could go to the bathroom, and then I hit the Chipotle. Um, and DoorDash makes me take a picture of the catering bag, which I do. I grab the catering bag, go inside the restaurant, and two of the store associates kind of look at me and they're like, which order are you here for? And I gave the name, and they're like, yeah, that bag isn't going to do you any good. And then I saw the piled high stack of the catering boxes, and I decided I'm gonna make that the thumbnail picture for this video, so you see the order in the thumbnail picture. And so it was that stack of boxes and like two like of the large bags of chips. And so they pointed everything out. I was gonna put the 2 sacks. I was gonna put in my catering bag, and they were like, "Well, he's bound and determined to use that catering bag, isn't he?" And but as I got closer and seen that it was chips, well, no, they those don't have to go in like a hot bag or catering bag or anything. So I didn't use my bag. So Yeah, I made like 4 trips out to the car, carried like 2 of those boxes at a time. I had 4 of them fit in my trunk, and then I had 2 in the back seat. That was probably the largest order that I've ever done. I'd have to think about it, but now I have had other Chipotle orders where it's been like 4 of those boxes, but not 6 of them. And I've had some other orders from other places where it's like taken up my whole like back seat. But this was like my back seat and my whole trunk. So now and then I don't know if you can see it in that picture, but there's another like 3 boxes behind those, but that was a different order. But had it have been all of that, and those other 3 boxes included, then those probably would have fit in my back seat with the other 2 as well. But I probably would have had a little bit of my view out my back window blocked in that case. Um, so anyway, I go to deliver that order. It was going to like a warehouse type of place. I was on the phone with my wife, and then I noticed I got a voicemail, and the original call didn't come through because DoorDash. Because the whole safe driving thing, so they don't allow you to receive calls or texts while you're driving. But I got on my phone the voicemail alert. So I'm stopped at a traffic light. I listen to that voicemail, and the customer saying something about the delivery. So I hang up with my wife, and but by this point I'm close to the customer. I'm just kind of like down the street. Um, and So I just follow where GPS takes me to, which is not the right place, and I stop my car, and then I'm able to call the customer, and then she directs me to basically GPS just has you past the driveway you're supposed to turn in, and it has you turn down the next driveway, which is wrong. So basically, the customer got me turned around. It was an easy, just get back on the main street, go down one more driveway, and then she came outside. She like waved at me, and really easy drop off, and then so the payout on this, yeah, there's the stack of the the boxes. Uh, 2 of the boxes, these bottom 2 were like really light. Does it say what? No, it just has the name on it, and that's it. Um, so there's the final pay on that. Yeah, $38. Another 2, $30 tips in one day. That's outstanding. Um, then I dropped that off, and okay, so I dropped that off at 11:05. You see here, I'm $133, and just it's just now like starting to be lunch, and I'm over goal already. Um, but then okay, so that was 11:05. So almost right away, I get this crappy order. I guess this order right here isn't horrible. I mean, $6, 6.5 miles. So yeah, the miles match or whatever, but I don't know. It just kind of felt like a letdown after a big, nice paying catering order, and then I just get a kind of like a run of the mill, kind of sort of crappy order. So I decline this. It's 11 o'clock. I mean, I should get something better than this at this particular time. This is the start of my busy time, my busy time of the day here, but no, I get a couple more offers and they keep getting worse and worse. Next offer, it got much worse. 425, 7.6 miles, going way out of zone. No, thank you. Not doing it. And then, like I said, it gets even worse. And you see the times here. I mean, each of these are just a minute apart. And come on here. $3 for 8.5 miles. Are you kidding me with an offer like this? And then I got really frustrated at this point. I was like, I better hurry, decline this, hurry up and get on there and shut this dash down. Cause I'm not gonna like, I can see what's happening here and I don't want to like tank my acceptance rate. What I probably, another thing I probably could have done, but I didn't think to do this at that moment because I was at 133. So I'm like, okay, boom, just let's shut it down. Let's just shut this down before it gets worse. So I just went with my instinct. But another thing I could have done was I could have paused it and just got back over to my other hotspot area that I like to pick up lunch orders from. And so that would have just been like a 10-minute pause and then resume the dash over there. I don't know why, but lunch area pickups at this particular hotspot in my zone are a lot of times garbage, and I don't know why. I don't get it. Um, but anyway, I figured, yeah, let's shut this down before it gets any worse. And I finished the dash, and this is only the second time since I've been a top dasher that my acceptance rate has dipped down into the 60s. I closed the dash down. It's like at 67% right now. So, um, but there's still, we're only at November 14th, so obviously just halfway through the month. So plenty of more dashes left this month to pick that back up. So final numbers, 10 orders for 133 bucks. Only drove 78 miles. So that was with I had the one order that went past downtown and those deadhead miles coming back, but even still, only 78 miles total. That's awesome. My total dash time was only 5 hours and 18 minutes. That averages out to I made over $25 an hour for total dash time. Normally, my average here is about 16 bucks an hour, and for my active time, which was 3 hours and 40 minutes, so that comes out to over $36 an hour on my active time. So yeah, it really was like a good and bad day to day. I mean, good as far as the pay and the mileage, and I got those two big orders. But then, my acceptance rate took a hit. That's the only thing. But like I said, I'll pick it back up there. My wife brought up a good point. She's working. She's closing tonight, so she brought up a good point that I could always go back out later on, and do like a dinner time dash, and so we'll see. It's 1:30 now. Maybe I could do like a 5 to 7, 5 to 8, something like that. Just kind of gonna depend on how I feel and how the afternoon goes here, the next couple hours, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm gonna shut this down and get this edited and post the video. So as always, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my previous videos. If you're a fellow dasher, be safe out there. And that's it for this recap. And until the next video. So long.